Headlines of VTV News. State President visits border guard stations in border areas. Textile enterprises adapt to changing order delivery time. And later on in our world news, center-right parties dominate European Parliament elections.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to VTV News. Coming live to you from Hanoi, you're with me, Lina Pham, and here's the top news of the hour. On June the 10th, State President Tô Lâm visited police officers of the Trường Hà Commune, Hà Quảng District, Cao Bằng Province. He applauded the commune police officers' proactive work preventing security and order. The implementation of household registration and citizen identification card issuance at a rate of more than 99% has also contributed to innovation in management and ensuring social order in the area. President Tô Lâm hopes that the commune police will actively learn ethnic languages to support the local ethnic people better. The previous day, visiting the Sóc Giang border guard station on the unit's 65th anniversary, President Tô Lâm shared the difficulties and hardships in managing a 22-kilometer border section with 55 landmarks and highly valued the efforts of the police in the border areas in helping people escape poverty and taking care of local children's education. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính has chaired a conference to review the past year's progress in removing Project Number 6 bottlenecks. Project Number 6 is designed to promote connectivity and data sharing to boost e-commerce development and improve the effectiveness of tax management. However, bottlenecks hampering Project Number 6 have been identified and firmly removed. Project Number 6 has provided all 25 of its planned essential public services, helping to save nearly 3,500 billion Vietnamese dongs per year, with more than 4,500 online public services provided via the National Public Service Portal. The Prime Minister also highlighted shortcomings and limitations and the 5 lessons learned. He emphasized that digital transformation is a key task, so focusing on leadership, direction, project management, and fostering change is necessary. In particular, leaders must be highly determined, make great efforts, and take timely actions to implement the changes effectively. The Prime Minister requested ministries, branches, and localities to proactively review and effectively overcome 6 limitations, such as revising institutions and legal systems, deploying online public services to bring real benefits to people and businesses, developing digital infrastructure, ensuring network security and safety, and allocating resources for implementation. The Prime Minister also requested that the construction of the National Data Center be accelerated, digital transformation in tax management should be promoted, and solutions for electronic invoices, especially in e-commerce, live stream services, and food and beverage services, be implemented. To date, 17 free trade agreements or FTAs have come into effect, helping Vietnam connect with nearly 60 markets. As a result, exports to these markets account for about 65% of the country's total export turnover. This is a huge advantage for Vietnamese goods compared to many other countries. However, leveraging that advantage depends on the capacity of the business and the local support.
This business is proactively increasing the localization rate and designing new jackets to secure big orders from the European and US markets.
Our group now handles everything involved in exporting products. This includes importing raw materials and producing finished products for export. Our goal is to enable products made in Vietnam to benefit from FTAs.
The changes are not only seen in enterprises, but also in the initiatives of ministries, departments, and local authorities. Consequently, in the past 5 months, domestic enterprises have had a higher export growth rate than foreign enterprises.
Thanh Hóa Province has issued resolutions to support export enterprises. For example, the province supports international cargo ships anchoring at local ports. It facilitates import-export enterprises hiring of specialized consultants to access the new markets.
Commitments to FTAs are one thing, but implementing them effectively is another. According to the Ministry of Industry and Trade, most local solutions still focus on communication campaigns and initial support. In some areas, the proportion of exports to FTA markets is less than 10%.
More practical tools are needed to assess the FTA utilization by enterprises and policies from local authorities to support businesses in leveraging FTA benefits.
After the first 3 to 4 years, Vietnamese goods have gained a foothold in demanding markets. However, in the long run, more breakthroughs are required, as most small and medium-sized enterprises are still specializing in processing and exporting raw materials and semi-finished products.
In the first 5 months of this year, textile and garment exports exceeded $13 billion, up over 3.3% on the same period last year. Orders are increasing, but international customers now require faster delivery, shrinking from 6 months to 90 to 110 days. This requires domestic businesses to quickly adapt to keep production on track.
This textile company is ramping up efforts for faster order deliveries with extra night shifts, full machine capacity, new hires, and flexible shifts. While orders for the second quarter have been fulfilled, they are gearing up for the third quarter.
We conduct online and offline trade promotions, attracting our main customers from Malaysia, Cambodia, and Singapore.
Textile and garment enterprises have experienced a positive trend in orders in the first months of the year. However, most of these are small to medium-sized.
Vietnamese goods receive high praise from customers. Previously, our production timeline was 70 to 90 days before delivery, but now it's reduced to just 30 to 45 days.
Enterprises focus on maximizing the efficiency of their equipment to minimize cuts. They replace low automation and labor-intensive equipment with highly automated alternatives to reduce outlay.
Brands and importers worldwide demand technology solutions such as 3D design development, digital management, and a focus on sustainable green production methods.
The Vietnam Textile and Apparel Association noted that retail groups from FTA members like Canada, Australia, and Europe are visiting Vietnam seeking competitive textile supply chains, particularly suppliers offering complete product packages.
From June the 12th, the protocol requiring phytosanitary measures for watermelon exports from Vietnam to China will officially take effect. This will open the door to watermelons being officially exported to China. According to the Vietnam Fruit and Vegetable Association, watermelon exports are currently worth more than $50 million per year. When the protocol takes effect, exports are expected to double. Currently, Vietnam has 162 watermelon growing areas. More than 1,000 packing facilities in 38 provinces have been granted codes to export to China. 35 years after the first consignment was exported, Vietnamese rice is considered the pride of the agricultural sector because it has been named twice as the best in the world. However, for Vietnamese rice to cement its brand and develop with sustainable quality, one of the most fundamental things is to continue to improve rice varieties for export.
This shipment was supposed to have arrived at the European port by now, but when the quality check was inconsistent, the company decided to delay the delivery date. This company has had to delay orders many times because quality must be a top priority.
We need to have varieties with consistent quality. Then we can create trust with our customers.
In addition to inconsistent quality, Vietnamese rice varieties are currently weak in terms of resistance to pests and diseases. Therefore, farmers must spend a lot of money while productivity is unstable. It is necessary to select and create new varieties suitable for climate change.
Gene editing technology needs to be applied to produce high-quality varieties. Vietnam has an advantage in rice varieties, so we can use this technology.
The 1 million hectare high-quality rice project allows Vietnam to restructure rice varieties for export. The project-supported varieties have short growing periods, low water consumption, and resistance to pests and diseases to reduce costs and emissions.
We cannot use the same varieties for all 1 million hectares. We will choose a few quality varieties suitable for each locality's climate. By doing so, we will meet the needs of demanding markets.
India is preparing to lift the ban on rice exports as El Niño gradually passes. Thus, our competitive advantage in terms of supply and favorable weather conditions will also gradually decrease. Therefore, the quality of rice varieties will be a fundamental and consistent step.
Shipping freight rates on some routes are doubling, even nearly tripling, causing difficulties for many export businesses. In particular, freight rates from Ho Chi Minh City to the U.S. have increased rapidly. The freight rate for a 40-foot container in March was nearly $3,000 but has now increased to nearly $8,000. According to logistics businesses, the reason for the increase in shipping freight rates is geopolitical tensions. Vietnamese export businesses are looking for ways to reduce shipping costs. They may temporarily suspend exports for less important orders or ask for extended delivery times. And before we move to the next part of VTV News, let's check out how the Vietnam dong is weighed against other currencies in the world market today. Coming up next, Hà Giang records highest flood in nearly 40 years. And beauty of Vietnamese mid-year festival embraced. "116 households in the high-risk landslide area of U Minh Thượng Buffer Zone, Kiên Giang Province have been relocated to a safer location with the support of the local authorities. As of June the 9th, landslides continue to affect roads in An Minh Bắc and Minh Thuận communes, U Minh Thượng district. A stretch of road almost 11.5 kilometers long suffered 454 landslides and subsidence. Local authorities have diverted traffic onto 45 temporary roads, installed dozens of warning signs, put up cordons, and temporarily banned vehicles from the landslide-hit roads. Following flooding in Quảng Ninh and Hải Phòng, Hà Giang has been hit with continuous heavy rainfall, which has sent the Lộ River into a spate and sparked emergency alarms. The flooding has also set off large-scale landslides. The overnight rainfall in Vị Xuyên, Hà Giang reached 320 millimeters this morning. The heavy rain caused the Lộ River to burst its banks and caused water levels at the Hà Giang hydrological station to rise very high. This morning, the water level at 7 a.m. exceeded alarm level 3 by about 59 centimeters, only about 48 centimeters lower than the flood peak in 1986. This is the highest flood level in nearly 40 years. The rain gradually decreased towards noon today. This afternoon, the water level on the Lộ River will be about 50 centimeters below alarm level 3. Flooding in areas along the Lộ River in Hà Giang City, Vị Xuyên, and Bắc Quang districts is expected to recede. However, flooding of the Gum River at the Bắc Mê hydrological station will continue to rise. It may rise above alert level 3 and reach 60 to 120 centimeters. Due to the continuous rain over the past few days, the soil is saturated with water, causing a high risk of flash floods and dangerous landslides. A nationwide movement inspiring transformational new rural areas has been carefully rolled out and customized to suit each region. In the Mekong Delta, successful initiatives have significantly boosted the socio-economic development of localities and uplifted people's livelihoods.
In Phong Thanh Tây A Commune, Phước Long District, Bạc Liêu Province, residents and authorities have introduced the 2,000 Vietnam Dong House initiative. Every morning, civil servants and officials voluntarily contribute a minimum of 2,000 Vietnam Dong to a model house at their workplace entrance. These funds are then utilized to construct charity houses for underprivileged households.
Witnessing the effectiveness of this model, people have actively engaged, enabling us to meet the goal of constructing a new house every year.
Thanks to this innovative approach, the commune has assisted in building 5 charity houses, further developing the locality into exemplary new rural commune.
This support has given us shelter, offering reassurance and allowing us to concentrate on earning a livelihood.
In Đuôi Tôm Hamlet, Tân Hộ Cơ Commune, Tân Hồng District, Đồng Tháp Province, 14 capital contribution groups have been formed over the last 27 years. Those groups have mobilized over $590,000.
This model works effectively. For instance, if I'm building a house costing around $19,700, I only require $13,700.
Once a house is completed, the group pools funds for additional purposes such as decoration or fence construction.
Such support models have yielded tangible results in numerous Mekong Delta areas. Despite modest funding, they have mitigated hardships and curbed black market lending.
Due to his dedication to treating wounded soldiers in the South during the war, the late Professor Nguyễn Thiện Thành refused to stay in the Soviet Union to complete his doctoral thesis in 1960. His devotion to the country's medicine and his medical career as hero of labor, People's Doctor Nguyễn Thiện Thành, have inspired his juniors to this day.
This photo was chosen as the cover of the book commemorating the 100th anniversary of Professor Nguyễn Thiện Thành birth.
I think the most intense and difficult part of his life was when he served in the army, and that was also the period of his life that he took pride in most.
Becoming a doctor was the first choice of Dr. Nguyễn Thiện Thành when he chose to study at the Faculty of Medicine of Hanoi's Indochina University instead of studying abroad in France. 2 months after the August Revolution in 1945, Dr. Nguyễn Thiện Thành officially became a National Guard soldier. What Professor Nguyễn Thiện Nhân remembers and admires most about his father is his 3 refusals.
First, he refused to study in France. Second, he refused to continue his doctorate degree and return to serve the country. Third, he refused to become a deputy minister and continue his position as a hospital director. His decisions represented the quality of Vietnamese soldiers, which is doing our best to serve the country and people, not necessarily for a higher position.
Dr. Nguyễn Thiện Thành saved the lives of many severely ill malaria patients during the war and laid foundation for geriatric medicine in Vietnam. The milestones in Professor Nguyễn Thiện Thành medical career today motivate his successors to make further efforts in their profession.
I have always nurtured my passion for work and scientific research. I want to make further contributions to society and science.
11 years after Dr. Nguyễn Thiện Thành passing, the scholarship named after him continues to provide opportunities for Trà Vinh and Cà Mau students to succeed in their studies.
Team Da Nang, Vietnam and France Arteventia had a breathtaking a display at the Da Nang International Fireworks Festival 2024, or DIFF, opening above the Han River on the evening of June the 8th. The host teams created a slow and romantic rhythm. At the same time, the defending champion showed their power with the Dragon's Dance in the only fireworks festival in Vietnam. On the opening night of DIFF 2024, audiences were amazed at the jet ski and flyboards artistic sports display, a skillful combination of water and aerial dances and fireworks displays, with a performance by the top world-class H2O company from Australia. The Fireworks Festival has helped Da Nang build the Fireworks Festival city brand and promote itself as a top destination in central Vietnam and Asia. Each festival attracts more than 1 million tourists, generating millions of US dollars in revenue for the city's tourism industry, according to the event organizers. Many individuals driven to protect the country's sea and island sovereignty have written letters and volunteered to live and work in the Cheung Sa Island district. Despite facing numerous difficulties and hardships, they take pride and express gratitude for the opportunity to be citizens of the Cheung Sa archipelago.
Near the sovereignty marker of Da Tay A Island lies a plot of about 250 square meters, currently cultivated as a watermelon patch. Late May and early June mark the peak harvest season before the onset of the rainy and stormy weather. Dozens of melons are diligently tended to by officers, soldiers and islanders. Joe's family, who volunteered to reside in Da Tay A Island since last year, has grown accustomed to life here.
In the beginning, I was a bit divided. However, as time passed, I noticed the soldiers' genuine care for the people. They are friendly and have offered us support, helping me gradually acclimate to life here.
Meanwhile, Le and her husband volunteered to relocate to Song Tu Tai Island when their twin sons were just 16 months old. The greatest joy for them is that the family is now always together. They can dedicate all their time to caring for their children, free from the numerous worries they had while living on the mainland.
I am fortunate to reside in this community among our family, neighbors, and soldiers.
After over 30 years of teaching, Tuấn penned a letter volunteering to serve in Cheung Sa, fulfilling a dream long deferred from his youth. Though there were only 7 students, ranging from preschool to primary school age, Tuấn held a special attachment to this school.
The familial atmosphere prevails, resembling relationships between grandparents and grandchildren or father and son.
Those volunteers have continued to contribute daily to the country's islands.
Today, the 5th of the 5th lunar month, is the Vietnamese Mid-Year Festival. In addition to eliminating pests harmful to crops, the Mid-Year Festival is also considered an occasion to eliminate diseases during seasonal change. Therefore, the festival is also widely known as the Insect Killing Festival. Our next story will offer a glimpse into the beauty of this traditional yet unique cultural feature.
During the Mid-Year Festival, offerings to ancestors usually include Vietnamese alkaline rice dumplings, fermented sticky rice, and summer fruits. This festival marks the start of the hottest days of the year, which facilitate the proliferation of insects. According to folk beliefs, eating these dishes can kill insects.
At the Mid-Year Festival, I often buy lychees, plums, and a bouquet of lotus flowers to respectfully place on the ancestral altar.
The 5th of the 5th lunar month marks the beginning of summer. The hot and humid weather offers favorable conditions for insects to grow. Vietnamese believe eating summer fruits such as guavas, plums, and starfruits can kill insects.
To combat the heat wave and prevent diseases, ancient Vietnamese people held many unique beliefs, such as making herbal tea at noon, drinking real gar wine for body detoxification, and hanging scented bags and 5-color threads. The Mid-Year Festival was also solemnly celebrated by dynasties, including a ceremony to gift fans to royals and mandarins. This custom was also mentioned in the complete annals of Đại Việt.
Vietnam has a tropical climate, so giving fans means giving blessings to people, representing wishes for favorable weather and bountiful crops.
Many folk customs have diminished over time. However, numerous other beautiful, age-old customs are still passed down through the generations. The Mid-Year Festival is a reminder to take good care of health as the seasonal change arrives, embodying prayers for bumper crops and good fortune. That is also an occasion for descendants to pay tribute to their ancestors.
Coming up next in our world news, center-right parties dominate European Parliament elections. And French president dissolves parliament, calls snap elections in France. According to the preliminary results of the European Parliament elections, European voters continue to put their trust in the center-right coalition that has led the European Parliament for the past 5 years. Specifically, the center-right European People's Party won 186 out of 720 seats in the European Parliament. The center-left Socialists and Democrats came in second with 133 seats. Meanwhile, the pro-European centrist Renew Party remains the third largest political force in the European Parliament. The plenary session of the 10th European Parliament is scheduled to be held in Strasbourg, France from July the 16th to the 19th, with electing the European Parliament's president as one of the first tasks. For the first time, France's National Rally Party won nearly 32% of the votes, far surpassing the ruling party of President Emmanuel Macron. This result shows the division in French politics and the rise of the far right. After the election results were announced, with the votes for the French National Rally more than double the share of a Renaissance Party, which scrapped to second place on 15.2% of the vote. French President Emmanuel Macron announced the dissolution of the French Parliament and called new elections on June the 30th. French President Emmanuel Macron said that the fact that far-right parties won the majority of votes was contrary to the development efforts of Europe and France's position in Europe. At least 10 people were killed and 32 others injured after gunmen attacked a bus carrying Hindu pilgrims traveling in Indian-administered Kashmir. The victims are believed to be from the northern Indian state of Uttar Pradesh. According to initial information, suspected terrorists ambushed the bus. They fired at it, causing it to lose control and plunge into a gorge. Local authorities are concerned that the death toll is likely to rise as some of the injured victims are in critical condition. The attack came a day after Jammu and Kashmir police said the number of local militants in the region was on decline, but 70 to 80 foreign militants were still active. And now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTV Go from App Store or Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4Go. Goodbye for now.